Bro, I remember watching Sausage Party.
That shit was so
Bro, that movie
ridiculous,
was
bro.
it was good to the end. I was like, bro, I was a senior in high school and I just turned 18 so I could buy R-rated tickets, bro. I was in there like, what the fuck am I? This is a Diddy party for food, bro. This shit crazy, dog.
Niggas told me that was in there, and I like low key didn't. Well, I believed it, I guess, but it ain't. You don't understand until you see it. You're like, what the fuck is going on, bro?
Yeah, that was fucking insane, dog. No, fucking insane. The whole movie was cool, and then that last 5 minutes is like, oh, food's fucking. It was a very weird ass movie. Weird ass movie.
Ridiculous.
All right, let's get into it, y'all. My name is Chris Taylor, and we're back with another episode of Illconversations. Today, I have another Cincinnati/Covington artist here with us today. Very dope artist. We have Tony here with us today. Tony,
What up? What
how you
up?
feeling today, bro?
Chilling.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you pulling up.
Yes, sir.
So, dude, I always start all these conversations with the first time we met. Do you remember the first time we met?
Yeah, that was the upstairs at the show at Leaping Lizard.
Yeah.
I think you was the first person I talked to there. I didn't know anybody on the bill for real other than I think Pango was the only person I knew. So I was like, I didn't know what to expect. But yeah, you was the first person I talked to there. And I was like, oh yeah, we good vibes. That actually that actually helped me going forward that night. Because like I said, I didn't know nobody. I was just like planning on keeping it myself. And then, we talked, and I was like, okay, everybody here seemed like cool people. You introduced me to a couple more folks. And yeah, that was a good-ass show, too. That was fun. Everybody killed it. That was good.
Bro, dope ass time. It's crazy how many like dope artists that we actually have on the scene.
Bro,
and like it was a great night, dude. It was it's crazy. I thought you knew some people there for real, the way you're talking and everything.
Yeah, bro, I had just met pretty much everybody. I think Pango was the only person on the bill that I like had met before.
Dang.
And like, it's just crazy. Every time I do these shows, bro, I always, no matter if it's on this side of the river or over there, I always meet a handful of new people. I always stay for who's before me and after me, and everybody be dope. Like, there's just so many dope people around here, bro. Like,
No,
it's
for
a
real.
very talented area.
Yeah, that's what I love about Cincinnati/Covington, because like you can always find some dope shit. Like even if like you pull to an underground show, there's always gonna be a dope artist and there's good people and it's like that create a good vibe and shit like that, dude. So Super Local was fun, and then you're on the bill for Super Local 5, right?
Yeah, I think I'm doing that. Whatever the next one is in June, I believe.
Yeah, June 6th. I said, yeah, me and you on that. I think KG's on there. John Carlos is on there. Pizza Boys is on there.
Yes, sir.
I think some other people from Maysville. I went to a show last week in Maysville. You ever been to Maysville before?
It sounds familiar. I feel like I've driven through there.
It's like an hour 10 from here, something like that, bro. Super small town, but like real cool vibe. It's like I don't know if you've ever been to Troy, Ohio. It's like Troy. It's like really small, but like it's quaint. I don't know. It's one of those vibes where it's like I feel like I move here when like 45, 50 and kind of like slow down and live life and shit like that, bro. But it's not bad. It's not bad, dude. So, Tony, you recently dropped the Vendetta.
Yes, sir.
Dude, that was bars on bars. Like I was telling you about at the artist breakdown, shit like that. I love that teeth line. That shit was like fucking dope as shit. What caused the inspiration behind that song, and why did you want to drop it now?
I'm trying to think. The night I made that beat, I had already been kind of like craving to just get on some like boom bap type of shit. So often I'm going like left field or making like pop, R&B, house shit. Like I just kind of stray away from like the rapidy rap sometimes, because I think the producer part of me wants to do more than like just minimal traditionalism sometimes. But like at the core, that's my shit for real. So I remember I think I started with that with the piano, and it felt like some like Dr. Dre shit, low key like 2000s Dr. Dre, like something he do for like 50 or Eminem or some shit. And that I don't know, that drum pattern, it sounds like a drum break for real that like I chopped, but I played all of that live on the MPC, and it just had just the bounce to it was just so nasty. And I didn't really have to do too much to the beat. It was one of them ones where the beat jogged, like just triggered it just got the creative juices flowing. Like sometimes a real good rap beat, that I could just rap on that shit for like days, you know what I mean? So that was one of them ones, and I made it quick. It ain't even really have no thought. Like I said, it just came to me because I was fucking with the beat so hard. And I knew immediately, like, I got to drop that. I already was doing a thing where I was going to drop a song every month. And I had to like completely restructure how I was rolling all those out, because I had to fit that in there somewhere. Like, so I did that, shot a video with my homie Sherrick. Shout out to him. It was cold as hell. We went out in like, I think it was January or February. Shot that shit out on Monmouth in the cold. And yeah, that shit came together pretty dope.
Hey, yo, dog, that's what's up. That's what's up. I always love when I get on the beat and like the beat kind of speaks to you and it's like, all right, this is gonna be easy as fuck to rap on.
Right, you
Because
feel me?
sometimes you get a beat and it's like, how am I gonna like find a pocket? But then like
Right.
that beat that's like the first 2 seconds, you're like, all right,
just
I know
know.
exactly what I'm gonna find on this shit.
Exactly.
And then two, I like we're gonna talk about Nightmare Radio too. There's like how you talking about like different sounds, just how you want to just approach it different. I think that's something that you're really good as an artist, like listening to your music and stuff and your discography. You use different sounds, and I like how you use your voice and just like mixing stuff too. There's nothing ever sounds the same. Like there's that consistency of you being an artist and how you're gonna rap and shit like that.
Right.
But there's different sounds and just how you use certain words and just how you say certain things too is like really sticks out a lot. So shout out to you, dog. That was really dope.
Appreciate
really dope.
it. Thank you.
So can we talk about some early like musical influences? I know we talked about it a little bit on the artist breakdown, but like what are like 1 or 2 artists that are like even now you're like dang, like they inspire you a lot to just like get into a different creative zone or just like really tap into music?
Man, it's so many people, but formatively, it's like I said before, Outkast, that was like the first thing that really probably got me rapping. I'd always obviously listened to rap, but that was the first time I really was like, ooh, like really tapped in, really listening to every layer of it, the production, the bars, their inflection, it's everything. But really like, man, it's so hard to pinpoint it. Like my mom, the music my mom would play a lot, really like would inspire me. It just like cleaning on the weekends, like Sunday morning black mom music, like just Jill Scott, Erykah Badu, Tina Marie, just like always playing some smooth, soulful shit. Isley Brothers, you feel me? Sly and the Family Stone, Funkadelic, like it just, that shit is just like, it feels like home. And that shit, you might not fully hear it in my music so directly, but that definitely is just part of my like DNA. I think I might have said it in the breakdown, but I feel like the music that you like really grow up hearing, kind of like it's your reference point. You might get into a genre down the line and understand it a lot, but like the genres that form your taste, you just be having a connection to that shit, and it like seeps into how you make things and how you perceive shit. So yeah, definitely like this R&B and soul from like 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, because my mom used to play that shit. And then I also got to throw in just like blues music and rock music. My granddad was in a band. He played a lot of different kinds of shit. And like I was just exposed to some shit that a lot of kids like me ain't really was listening to. I was listening to Bob Dylan and the Beatles and the band and, Stevie Ray Vaughan. It's like a bunch of random people when I was a kid that I would have never really heard otherwise. So that's another thing that, yeah, it definitely like shaped to this day how I do things. That's why I think I'm able to like tap into these other sounds. It's more than just hip hop, because I grew up hearing that shit. Even when I didn't fully understand some of it when I was real little, it just like, it's naturally in there. So I'm kind of able to shift lanes a little easier.
Nice. Now, when you go back to listen to that, when you go back to listen to older music that you kind of grew up on and stuff like that, are you able to pick up new meanings from like the first time you heard it?
For sure.
Yeah. And that's the dopest shit. Like you can go back, like when you ever heard it 10 years ago, you come back to it now, it's like, damn, I didn't pick up on this perspective, or
Right.
like I didn't hear it a certain way back then. But now it's like it's hitting a little bit different. And
Yeah.
now you're able to like appreciate the music more.
Right.
And I just think that's what good music does in general. Like if you're able to go back to a project or a song 10 years later and find new meanings and shit like that, bro, that's good music. Because the songs you listen to it like. If I go back and listen to like DJ Guys Fall in Love by Usher, I'm probably not gonna pick up too many new meanings and shit like that.
Right.
I might just like start bobbing my head like a little bit harder than when I was a kid, but it's like, I'm not saying it's a bad song, but like if I go back and listen to like Al Green, Let's Stay Together, like that whole album, or like if I go back to Camp by Childish Gambino, I was listening to Camp not too long ago and I was picking up certain things I didn't hear in the first time I listened to it. And I was like, bro, this shit hitting a lot harder now, dude. So like, that shit's always dope, man. So that's really cool to see, man. It's really cool to see. So let's get into Nightmare Radio, dude. I was listening to that the last couple of days to make sure I got ready, did my research and stuff like that for the podcast. First off, dog, that sounded like it was on a radio station. That was hella cool. I fuck with that. And also, too, dog, like the transitions between each songs, bro. That's like that's tight. Like that shit right there, right, is like what makes an album for me personally stand out. Like that small nuances that like each song had a different transition. Like yeah, the Eric Andre like Nightmare. Bro, I was geeking when I heard that shit, bro, because like. That shit really makes the feel of the album feel like a radio. I don't know if that's what you were going for. Okay.
For sure.
Yeah, like shit like that is really cool. And then like even I was saying earlier, like your songs are so different and shit like that, bro. From like Problems and then like Hoopty. Like those two songs are like very different.
Right.
But like they're still, I don't want to say sound the same, but like there's the consistency of the artist being on the track.
Right.
So like what made you want to make that project, and how were you able to make every track so different, or like make that whole album kind of flow together and become one idea?
Right. So like first the concept, like when I was a kid, I used to write out like fake track lists for albums, and like it would be more like, oh, when I blow up, I'm gonna get a song and I'm gonna have Ye produce this, but then I'm gonna put so and so on it. Like people that had never really been together on songs together, put people from different genres. Like I would have these hypothetical albums, and in my head I'd be like, one day I'm gonna blow up and I'm gonna do this shit. So like I kind of would have these loose concepts that were like, obviously, like I said, features and shit, which obviously I can't do that. But then some of it would just be like the theme and like the sound and like how the music videos would look and shit like that. So like I've had some album concepts like that have low key just been sitting in my head for years, and that was one of them, off of like the was it like the Matrix, like the clubs, the nightclub in the Matrix, like the club in Blade, and then all the vampires in there, and it's like the blood, like just crazy looking, like futuristic, chaotic, creepy party type, basically like an underground rave in the future. And like I always thought it was dope, but like I could make cooler music to accompany it than what was in the music in the video or in the movie. I mean, so like it was that, and then also like video games, like old PS2 games had them like the jungle songs with the like fast drum breaks, like all that kind of shit. So like it'd be that. Sims the Herbs. It's a Sims game back in the day, and like you was in a downtown area.
Oh, bro, I already know about
the
that.
Black Eyed Peas was in that game, and they had songs they made for that game that were like in Simlish or whatever. But they were songs that didn't exist on any other albums, and like some of the songs they made for that game was gas, and that had a specific sound that was kind of similar to that I was chasing. Very random references, but that was like the first reference points for that. Initially, the album was gonna be like a radio show, like Selection, like that type of deal.
Okay.
So it was gonna be like an online radio mix. But it was between that and then kind of being like a DJ set in a club, like I said, since it was kind of inspired by a club. So it's a radio, because I think the album's called Nightmare Radio, but it's kind of a mix of that, like a DJ set in a club and then a radio set. I knew I didn't want everything to sound the same, but the through line would just kind of be that, like I said, it sounded like futuristic. It had an edge to it that it would be like in a club. It references different types of club music, and that's the other part. I think that's where the similarity, or where the cohesiveness comes from. Like everything's different, but they all point to different types of up-tempo music. Like Timberwolf is heavy on the like 90s Timbaland, Missy Elliott, Genuine, like that little wave of Timbo and his people in the 90s. And it was turn up shit at the time, kind of, although R&B, but there's that. Then you got like Problems. Problems was like, that's some like early 2000s boy band shit, like B2K or some shit. And then like Chopper City, that's like New Orleans, like old Wayne, old Juvenile, like New Orleans bounce, Big Frida, like all that type of shit. So it's like everything, Archangel is breakbeat, house type of shit. Hoopty is house. You Scared sound like Lil Jon and the East Side Boys. Everything is different, but they all pay homage to some type of like turn up club music from the future and the past. And I just tried to, on my production, put this type of like, I call it metallic feel on it. I think everything kind of feels like it's like chrome.
Okay.
And I tried to just make it feel, I don't know, futuristic in a way. And I'm glad like that you peeped it though, because that's the kind of thing that with that and with All Star, where I try to like, everything's different, but they sound familiar and the same. They don't sound like they out of place, like it's forced there. But and then the transitions as well, like I said, that kind of also help it be more cohesive. There might be some shit. It's a strong contrast between I think it goes from Sexy into Quick Start. There'd be no way to fade them into each other. They're so different. So it's an abrupt cut. And then it's a quote, I'm your worst nightmare. And then it just drops into some other shit. So it's just like little ways to make you kind of almost forget how different these are sounding from each other. So like, I don't know if that makes sense, but
yeah, no, that makes sense, dog. That makes sense. Yeah, that's a great breakdown, dog. Yeah, I love talking to artists about their albums, how they come together, because like making an album is not easy. It's like from the start point to the end, it might change a million different times, bro. But like getting to that end point, I think is so much fun, and just like that final product. Cause I don't know about you, like when I make a project, it's like, damn, I had an idea how it was gonna sound, but then by the time I get to the end, I'm like, bro, it sounds way better than way different and way better than what I thought it could have. Yeah, dude. So that's really cool, man. That's really cool, man. Do you have like any favorite songs or like any memories from like a favorite memory from making that album at all?
My favorite song on there, it kind of changes. I know when I first put it out, Archangel was probably my favorite, but that was like the last song I made, so I think it was recency bias. I really like Show Me Some. That's one of my favorite joints, but like I think Problems is probably my favorite song on there. I really like that song. I've been fucking with Chopper City and You Scared a lot more lately.
Okay.
I kind of like had to take a break from listening to it for a while because when I'm making shit, I'm just listening to that for so long.
Yeah, I feel you.
And then after it comes out and it's finally in its final version, which I'm usually working up on it to the last second, so when it drops, I'll listen to it for a bit because I'm like kind of hearing it with fresh ears. But yeah, my favorite song always changes. If I had to pick one, it's Problems. But making it, it was a weird process because I made that shit a long time ago. It was supposed to be All-Star, Nightmare Radio, and then the album I'm dropping this summer were all gonna come out the same summer in 2023.
Oh, shit.
I was gonna like drop them all, and I just kind of felt like the way All-Star was being received, it was getting more love than I thought, and I felt like I'd be stepping on it by dropping Nightmare Radio. So like, it already had been done. It had been done for so long. I made it real fast. I already had that concept in mind. Yeah, I mean, it didn't get reworked much either. I did this one by myself for the most part. I mean, I usually produce it by myself, but sometimes I have the homies around when I'm making it or something. But this time I didn't. I kind of was making it on the side, prepping for when All Star was done, get ready for it. But I mean, yeah, making Show Me Some. I made Show Me Some on my birthday. I think that's probably the only interesting story I have. I wasn't gonna even record or do anything. It was my birthday. I didn't have any plans to go out. I was gonna kick it at the crib, like just be lazy. And then Logan Sherrick hit me up, who's on there on the record, and he was like, "Hey, bro, let's kick it. I'm gonna come over with a bottle. It's your birthday, blah blah." I'm like, "Man, I'm just trying to cool it. I ain't even trying to do nothing." He's like, "Come on, bro," and I'm like, "All right, pull up. We'll drink a little something," and then we got drunk and started making beats, and then I started making that one. That was, I think, like the third one I made. And as soon as I started that one, just like kind of with Vendetta, I'm like, oh yeah, this is it. I wasn't making it for the album. The album was done technically at that point. And I'm like, yeah, this got to go on the album, bro. I just love that beat so much. It reminds me of like Jagged Edge.
Okay.
It reminds me of like, it doesn't sound exactly like it, but it kind of has the spirit of Where the Party At by Jagged Edge, but it's like the nighttime version instead of in the daytime at a pool party.
Okay, all right, nice version. Okay. Hell yeah, dog. That's what's up. I love to hear that, dude. That's what's up, dude. That's so dope, bro. That's so dope. All right, so I want to get back into your music journey a little bit more. What are some challenges that you faced from the beginning of your music journey till now, and how has it helped you grow as an artist, do you think?
Let's see. First, I think I'm trying to think how to put it. In the beginning, like when I started rapping, I didn't know anybody even that did music around here like that. And I'm not saying it to say I'm the first one, blah, blah, blah. But I just didn't have any friends. Like I said in the breakdown, I wrote my first rap when I was in second grade. Like I was into music at a young age, like more than other kids were. There might have been some other kids that like music, but like they weren't actively trying to do it. So like, I just didn't know anybody really that did it. But my older cousin was into music because, like I said, my granddad was in a band. He's on that same side of the family, so we just been around music and shit growing up. Yeah. And his half brother, who's older than both of us, he rapped back in the day. Back in the 90s and the 2000s, and like he went on tour with a lot of bigger artists in the 2000s and shit. And he's really the coldest rapper I have ever met in my life. Like, and I'm not even, at some point I'll play you some of his shit. When I tell you that this dude is, I'm not playing better than pretty much anybody you can think of. I'm not even playing.
Damn, okay.
And like I said, he way older than me. So it was a challenge even when we was younger, just like freestyling for fun or whatever. Before we even was recording, like I'm 3 years younger than my cousin. And then I think I might be like damn near 10 years younger than the older dude.
Yeah.
So I can't really keep up. I can rap for my age. But like, you know what I mean? And this is, like I said, my oldest cousin. This nigga grow up in the prime of Wu-Tang and Mobb Deep and Cypress Hill and all this shit, living in New York and all this, you know what I mean? And while I did listen to that, I'm also, my age group shit at the time is them Franchise Boys and shit. And I'm not saying, like I said, I'm listening to Nas too, but my taste ain't as refined as his. He had so many more years rapping, came up in an era where like you really had to be rapping. So for me to have to keep up with them on records was crazy hard to do, low key. Like I was for sure getting washed like on a lot of songs early, and like I would hold my own to a degree, but like compared to them, there was no way. But it made me have to like really get nice at this shit because I was like, I'm not about to have the worst part on all these songs. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't necessarily taking the songs, you know, bringing them down, but you know, I knew I had room to improve compared to them. So. You know, I'm young though, but by the time I was like a teenager, by the time I was like 16, 17, 18 years old, I've been rapping with grown men. You know what I'm saying? Like they can really fucking rap. So I had to be nice with it. And it was definitely difficult, but it helped me. Like I owe it to them for like the friendly competition basically to have me get that nice. And they did school me on a lot of shit too. Like, you know, they put me on to so much. I remember like even stuff that I knew about and know about now. Like I said, my oldest cousin, he's just like an encyclopedia for hip hop. And like I said, he done been around the block, and then he'd sit there and tell me what it was like when this and this dropped. Yeah. Like, and now, you know, not what it was like as being a adult at that time. Like, nah, nigga was 20 years old in the 90s or whatever. I might have his age wrong, but he was, you know what I mean? He was a young dude, not young, but, you know, old enough and young enough to really get it and like emulate it. And just, you know, he gave me a lot of game. And like I said, my other cousin too, that's 3 years older than me. That's it's them for sure.
Hell yeah, dude. That's what's up. That's the one thing about, I feel like all like artists coming up is like you have that person around you that makes you want to get better, and if you have that competitive spirit, you don't want to be the worst one on the track or be the one that fucks up the track because you'll be like, damn, what was I doing this for? Type of shit. But now that's iron sharpens iron. That's what we always say around here, dog. Like that's what makes you get better, and that friendly competition is good to have, dog. Because it's like same thing with basketball, dog. It's like I don't think LeBron wants to get outplayed by these younger niggas. Even then when he was coming up, dog, like he saw Kobe, you got Tracy McGrady, you got all these greats coming up before you. You don't want to be the worst player in the league. You want to be the best. So that's really cool to see, man. All right, so we talked about your influencer for music, talked about Nightmare Radio. What is your favorite part about making music, just in general?
And I don't know. It's like before. It's a lot of answers. I kind of want to say hearing it back. Yeah, because that's like the coolest shit. And like I said in the breakdown before, like the first time you make a song and the first time you hear yourself back is like unmatched. And I also like performing shit a lot too, you know, but I think making the beats, bro, like, and I didn't even start doing that until like 2018, 2019. I was just rapping for years and just it was hard to get the production that I really truly wanted.
I know what you mean.
And then, once I start making the beats, bro, I'm like, yo, like, I love doing that shit, like, way more than I even thought I would. But, man, I don't know. I guess it's that. But maybe hearing it back, I listen to my own shit so much, too. That's another thing. I listen to myself a lot. And not even on some cocky shit. I just, I make music that I would want to hear.
Exactly.
Like, it's shit I make that ain't even ever going to come out. I just make it for my own enjoyment. But, like, it's still unmatched to really, when you got an idea in your head and you can execute it how you wanted it to and it come out how you thought, it just
crazy.
It's not really much like it. And then when it exceeds your expectations and you play it for the homies or you play it for people and they genuinely rock with it and you can feel it in the air that they really like this shit.
Yeah.
It's unmatched.
Yeah.
Probably playing it back. As crazy as that sounds.
I feel you, dog. Cause like I listen, I got to stop myself from listening to my music so much. I'm like, bro, go listen to something else. You got to go get inspired by something else. Right. But like, I've said this on a couple podcasts before too. Is like we have this idea in our head, and then we're actually able to make this idea come into fruition and actually hear it through the speakers, which is like low key kind of like magic, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, but like you have this sound, like even in like you said production wise, like for the longest time when I started making music, it was like YouTube beats like a motherfucker, right? Yeah. And you can never find you find a good beat, but it's like damn, bro, it costs $300 for me to buy the stems,
right?
But it's like once you make your own beat, you're like, I want this drum here, I want this hi-hat here, I want this snare, I want this drum break. Yeah. That's when you really, really tap into your shit, and you're like, all right, I can make this sound how I really want it to, dude. So like, that's really dope, man. So what got you in the beat making?
Just that struggle struggle right there, trying to find the beats. Like when I first started, I was just freestyling on on industry beats and like remixing popular songs and shit. And like people was rocking with that, and I would even like. Instead of like, I'm trying to think, some people would like Wayne on some of Wayne's old mixtapes, there'd be some joints where obviously he would just like rap for 64 bars over like a Beyonce beat. Yeah. But then sometimes he would put like his own hook on it. Yeah, and it would be a whole different song. It's on somebody else's beat. So I would sometimes try to make songs out of existing songs so that it at least felt like its own thing. Yeah. And then like I used to use SoundClick, which that was a thing back in the day where people would upload their beats and you could download it for free with tags, or you could lease it. And like, it's a lot of like Johnny Giuliano, he produced for Wiz, he produced Euphoria for Kendrick. Mm-hmm. He had beats on there a lot. There was a lot of people that I used to like, they ended up kind of popping off that would make beats on SoundClick. But I would use those and it's cool, but it's like YouTube beats. It's probably 100 other niggas with the same beat. You know what I mean? And then you don't own it. Nope. And back then, I mean, it's not like you could put shit on streaming services. Back then, there was no streaming services. It was going on SoundCloud. Yep. But, you know, as I started to buzz on SoundCloud, I did meet some producers. Like, it was a dude named Jax. He was from Australia. He was gas. He made me some really dope beats. And, like, I got a cool handful of producers that I worked with then, but it's hard. It's still, the beats was their style and it was cool, but like I still had my shit, and it's hard to explain to a nigga that lives in Australia over DMs how I want this album to sound, and then to get a producer to buy into that. Exactly. Like they knew I could rap, they could hear me rapping on these beats, but hearing me rap over this Drake beat probably ain't convincing enough for you to stop whatever you're working on and produce an album for me based on how I want it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't blame nobody for that. So it was just hard to make albums that really felt like, okay, this is gonna get me somewhere. Like I ain't gonna get nowhere rapping on other people's beats. And I could tell that was phasing out. Yeah. You feel me? That was still a thing when I started. And when I was in high school, like I'm old. When I was in high school, like niggas were definitely still dropping, like, Sorry for the Wait came out, I want to say, when I was in high school. I might have been a freshman. I might have been in 8th grade or a freshman in high school, but, like, people were still dropping mixtapes. Exactly. Nostalgia Ultra by Frank Ocean came out as a mixtape where he's singing on, like, industry beats. He got us some original songs, but, like, mixtapes was still a thing. But that was on the way out because you had shit like Live Love ASAP came out. Mm-hmm. And that was all original production. Yeah. And then like Section 80 or Habits and Contradictions or Control System, all them TDE albums that came out, that was original beats. Like the indie dudes that was coming out wasn't rapping on beats no more. You know what I mean? They were albums. They were mixtapes, they was albums. So I was like, I could tell this ain't gonna keep cutting it. I need to make original music. And after, I'm talking about years and years and years and years, it wasn't until, like I said, I was in high school. It wasn't until I was about to graduate college that I started making beats. Just being fed up of years of having to adapt to other producers and adapt to trends instead of starting trends because I can only make what these YouTube producers make. Yep. It just was, I was making stale, bland ass music that didn't sound like me, and I hated it. And it was hard for me to even put my foot forward and even promote it because I ain't want to stand behind it. You know what I'm saying? I know what you mean. So eventually one summer, it was 2018, and my girl was studying abroad in Europe for the whole summer or some shit. So like I went to college in a different town than my hometown. I lived in Richmond, but in the summers I come home. Mm-hmm. But this summer I was like, I had a job on campus. I'm a reclusive dude. I didn't really mind staying down there by myself in Richmond anyway. But I would come back to kick it with my girl because she'd be sick if I didn't. You know what I mean? And I did want to see her. Don't get me wrong. But she was going to be in Europe the whole summer. So, like, I really was like, you know what? I'm going to use this time to just work on me for real.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't have no reason to come home. I'm going to stay down here. I'm going to work on campus. I bought I got a credit card and maxed it out on equipment, on an MPC and a new mic. I reamped my whole setup. And I just stayed in my apartment on campus. Nobody was on campus because everybody was at their hometown on break. You know what I mean? My girl was on a whole different time zone. So I couldn't, I didn't have nobody hitting me, blowing up my phone. You know what I mean? I just had time to myself, just silence. And I took Kanye's, Ye said on Spaceships that making 5 beats a day.
3 beats a day.
3 beats a day. 5 beats a day for 3 summers. That's it. I took that shit to heart. I was like, it's this summer. It ain't gonna be 3 summers. It's 1 summer, but I'm about to sit in this bitch and I'm gonna learn how to make beats. I hadn't tried to make a beat since Crank That Soulja Boy came out. I tried to make some Crank That beats on FL Studio when I was in middle school. That's the last time I had tried to produce.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck it, I'm doing this shit, bro. And that summer I learned how to make beats. And I surprised myself. In my mind was like, it's gonna be probably a couple years of some ass before shit. I fucked around and produced a whole album that summer, produced EPs that summer. I ended up meeting a singer, produced for him. I turned it around quick, and from that point, my music's been totally different. Like way better. Like, I'm almost mad that I even was releasing music before I started producing for real. But
dude, that's what's up. That journey that's dope as fuck to see, bro. Because like a lot of people would stop there and just be like, I'm gonna keep rapping on YouTube beats, but you took it a step further. And you ever seen Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah.
You know the Hyperbolic Time Chamber? Yeah. That's what I'm thinking about right now. Because like you just locked in. It's like, all right, for this summer, I'm gonna lock in and make how many beats a day, and I'm gonna get my sound correct and stuff like that, dude. And this is. You said one thing too, that silence. You going in there, that silence, you're creating that new sound, or you're creating that new product, or whatever you want to create. You came out a different person, you made a new sound for yourself, and that's really dope to see, man. So that leads into my next question. Like, so through your whole music journey, what are some things that you learned about yourself that you didn't know you had before?
I think it's funny. I have ADHD like bad. I go through phases where like I'm into this thing and then this thing and then this thing. Like my attention is everywhere. But music showed me for real, like I can have discipline. Like just like I said with the beats, I never would have thought at no point in my life about anything ever have I been able to lock myself in a room and just do that shit and be focused on it. I can't do that with really anything. But like the discipline I learned in that moment, learning how to make beats, and then just sticking with shit. There's been a lot of things I've been good at in life that, like I said, I'll bounce around from thing to thing. Yeah. I'll start some shit and be good at it and then lose interest and stop doing it. And it's a lot of shit that I remember I did martial arts at one point when I was a little kid. And I was good. I got, I think, to a brown belt, which is almost a black belt.
That's pretty good.
And I quit. I just quit. When I stopped, I didn't practice enough. We used to have to do this shit where like we had to know, it was like a whole combo of moves. I can't remember what it was called, and we'd have to do all this shit and remember it, and then you had to get up in front of everybody and do it. Yeah. I never practiced it at home. So I remember getting up there one day, I was freestyling basically, just making shit up, making up random combos and shit. Yeah. And then basically embarrassed myself. And then I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that shit. And I quit. I'm mad I quit. I should have never did that. When I was in 6th grade, I did band because I like music. Yeah. But I was like embarrassed that I was in band. I was like one of the only like popular kids in the band. So I tried to like act like I wasn't in that shit. Like it was a dude in my class that was like, bro, can you carry my saxophone to the bus? I don't want niggas seeing me walking out of here with that shit. And it's stupid as hell, but like it's true. And I ended up quitting. Because it was like, I thought it was corny and I didn't like the music we was learning, but I should have just stuck with it. So there's a lot of things that I've done that I was good at that I just didn't. I fell off. Sports. I was real good at sports. I got burnt out on sports though. Mm-hmm. I could have went to college and played sports. I was sick of that shit by the time I got about to graduate. Yeah. So yeah, music just showed me that I can kind of stick with some shit if it's some shit that I think is really for me. Yeah. And like, it's just kind of shown me that I can be disciplined in areas when I need to be because I didn't know I could be.
Nice, dude. That's what's up, dude. I relate to that a lot, dog. I understand because it's like that burnout is such a real thing, and I don't know where it comes from. I don't. Yeah, it's a weird thing. But what made you stick with music this far, though? Like, if everything else beforehand, you're like, all right, I'm gonna do this, then you got burnt out and you quit. What's been the like couple things that made you stick to music this far?
I don't know. I don't know if it's the timing of it. I don't know if it's because, like, you know, I liked sports when I was a kid. I probably wanted to be an athlete before I wanted to be a musician, but I still wanted to be a musician at a young age. Mm-hmm. And like, I never told anybody that though. I knew if I was like, Mom and Dad, I want to be a rapper, they'd be like, shut the fuck up. Like, you're 8. You're not about to be no rapper. So like, I never told nobody because I knew people would shoot it down because I knew myself it sounded like a ridiculous goal. It's not something that's easy to achieve. Mm-hmm. But sports, I feel like everybody thinks their kid gonna go to the league or whatever. Yeah, everybody. So like, and I was good at sports. Like I'm not even gassing myself up. I was always good. I played numerous sports, and like I loved it. But by the time I was grown, I was over that shit. And sports, it's taxing on your body. Yep. Like I've had some bad injuries and surgeries and broken bones and like all kind of shit. And like, you know, I think what it was I had so much time with sports and like other endeavors because I was openly indulging in them. Yeah. That I think I got burnt out on them sooner, I guess. And I just had always wanted to be more serious about music. And then when I started doing that in high school, and I think it just like the satisfaction I got from that, I guess, was just greater than from the sports shit. I feel like maybe, I don't know if, like I said, it might have just been the timing. Maybe if my parents like, sure, you can rap, and they was taking me to studios in elementary school, maybe I'd be burnt out on it by now. But it's some shit I had that's building up inside of me that I ain't get to start really showing people until it had been 10 plus years that I had been wanting to do it. So I think it's that. And I think it means more to me. Mm-hmm. I think like, bro, music is like spiritual, and even just hip hop music and being a black man, like this shit is an extension of everything. Like you talked about sinners earlier. Like, bro, you can look at, you know, African tribal music, and there's rhythms in that shit. Yep. And the repetition and that transfers over to slave hymns. Mm-hmm. And then slave hymns transfers over to gospel music. Yep. And then how much every R&B singer came out of the church. Yep. And then, like I said, then you go back to the slave music. I said the chants, the repetition, the mantras, the group sing, singing about our pain. That shit go to blues music. Yep. And then that shit goes to rock music. And then from blues and rock, you know what I mean? Then it's rap music. Like it's all, this shit literally, you can see a through line in anything. Like I'm not listening to tribal music, but there's instruments I use in my drums and rhythms and tempos that do match tribal music. Yeah. You can see, there's like old footage of tribes basically like twerking back in the day. Like it's tribal dances that look like twerk. It's shit that we don't even know that we're emulating this shit through music and sound. Yeah. We're doing that shit subconsciously, and it's like it feels like it's a bigger thing than me, and it's like a bigger purpose, and it's not even trying to be cheesy and extra about it, but it's really like it really be feeling like that. And I think it's like a responsibility to be making black music. Like this is our shit. We only have so many ways that we've been able to really like express ourselves, so many outlets. And shit gets tainted, but for the most part, like we've kept hip hop to some degree like pure and like what we wanted it to be, and hopefully it stays that way. Yeah. But like, I don't know, I feel like, bro, like us making hip hop music, we're in the midst of like one of the most important creations that we have ever made. Facts. One of the most impactful things we've ever made, and I don't think everybody even understand it in the moment. It's gonna be some shit where like we look back. I mean, hip hop really runs the world too, low key. I mean, not the world, but just it's everywhere, man. It's just important, bro. It means way more to me and my ancestry and like my experience than sports could.
Yeah.
So
that's facts, dude. Hip hop, like, it influences the whole world. We got kids over in China dressing like rappers, dog. Like, and they had to ban rap over there for a second. Like, that shit is insane, dog. It's like there's some people rapping over 16s and stuff like that. Like you say, it's generational. That shit is it's generational. It's been from over time, and it's one of those things where like you said too, we're in the moment of it right now. Hip hop's still fairly new. It's like 40, 50 years old.
Right.
We haven't seen what it's gonna look like 80 years old, 90 years old, and we're really in the I'll say we're kind of not in the baby steps, maybe like teenage, like 20s, like still trying to figure out where it's going and stuff like that too. And that's why I think shit gets so weird in rap sometimes too, because like we don't know how dope it is. Because even now I feel like rap's got so saturated and it's not as valued as it should be. Because like, bro, motherfucker, we get what 0.003 cents from a stream on Spotify, dog. But them niggas know how much rap really runs the world, dog, and they know the real numbers and shit like that. Because I remember the first time they said rap was the most streamed genre back in like 2017, 2018. But for how long they were like, rap music ain't shit. Rap music is this is that. But it's like, bro, everybody listens to rap now. And there's so many different genres of rap that you can tap into. Somebody has a favorite rapper out there. And your favorite rapper you might like rock music, but there's a rapper out there that can make rock type rap. So it's like, hip hop is one of those things. Like, it's a beautiful art form.
And ain't no genre lasted this long, I don't think, really. That's the thing. Most shit phases out before it gets to this point. We ain't never really seen a genre last this long. So.
It changed throughout so much time too, dog. And like, that's why I feel like that's why so many people are like, we got so many culture vultures and stuff like that trying to tap into it because they know what's going on. But you got to be careful with the art form, because I think once you get away from the purity of it and you start not being as pure with it and you don't understand the art form, that's when shit starts getting fucked up. And you got people just like, all right, I'm just gonna do this for fun. And you can do it for fun, dog, but understand I don't want to say burden, but understand what comes with it and understand what is behind all this shit. Because if you don't understand that, then you can do some bad shit with it, dude.
Yeah, and it's like a slap in the face.
Yeah, bro, that shit makes me so mad about rappers. Like, dog, like, you gotta understand this shit, bro. Like, this shit is not a game for some niggas, bro. This is, like you said, there's not many outlets for just black people to just express themselves, dog. Like, to be openly themselves. Because a lot of times when you are open as yourself as a black man, you get crucified for it, bro. We're supposed to be in a certain way. We're supposed to be in a certain lane. And if you act outside that lane, you're like, you're not actually black. And it's like, bro, like, what the fuck you mean? I live a black experience. That's all the blackness I need, bro. Like, what the fuck you talking about, dog?
Exactly.
But dude, it's a great hip. It's a great form, dog. That's why I love rap so much, dog. Because like, it tells stories, it tells pain, and you're able to express yourself in the dopest way possible, dude. So that's really dope you said that, man. So talking about rap, dude, how do you feel like rap right now, like as a whole? How do you feel about the genre right now, like in the space that we're in?
I think we have the potential to be in a good space. I think the issue is the way the platforms right now, though, that's pushing this shit, is very like lopsided.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think it's like, it's hard to pinpoint it kind of, but I mean, it is what it isn't. I don't know. I look at stuff like Rolling Loud and like No Jumper and
you're talking about,
DJ Small Eyes and all these kind of dudes. And it's like, I'm not saying I don't like anybody on the Rolling Loud bill or anything, but it's a very specific like niche of rappers that they put on here. And it's like, they're not putting them on here because they have anything to say. It's almost like rage baiting. Like, it's just like, we're gonna find a nigga that's high out of his mind. His eyes are rolling back in his head. He really can't say anything about his music because it doesn't mean anything, and he doesn't really like music. He don't even care about it. It's just a hustle. And really, we're gonna put this nigga on here so he embarrasses himself. It's gonna get a bunch of clicks.
Exactly.
It's
that's
gonna
what
go
it is.
by. Nothing. They don't like. It'd be one thing if they also had, you know, this guy and this guy and this guy on here, but nah, it's always it'll be somebody that ain't even got no buzz, bro. It's just who's the dumbest nigga we can find to put on here. And then you look at who's the audience of this shit, and 9 times out of 10 it's a bunch of little white boys, bro.
Suburban kids,
and it's like, that's who's spending the money though. So what now has happened is all of these outlets, they just pushing the same subgenre, ignorant ass rap. And I don't want to say that either because I don't want to shit on it. Like, I don't, because I listen to the same shit. Like, I'm not saying I don't listen to it or that their music ain't valuable. I think, you know, there's some people, like, there's niggas they call mumble rappers who I think are geniuses. I think Cardi's one of my favorite artists. He reinvents himself every album. I think he's one of the most polarizing rappers right now. So I ain't really knocking on people in that lane. and it ain't him really. He ain't really an example though. But they push the same shit. They're pushing the same shit essentially. And what happens, like when I was a kid, you might like, bruh, there was still hype shit. It was rowdy shit. We was talking about Lil Jon earlier. It was Lil Jon would be on, but then like Common might come on after that. And then it might be Snoop, and then it might be UGK, and then it might be Ludacris, and then it might be Eminem, and then it might like everything sounded different. Like niggas had their own sauce. It was different regions, different rap styles, different personas, and it all coexisted. You watch the BET Awards and you see like 20 different type of rappers performing. The awards were like spread out. The categories and the nominations, you got 5 albums that don't sound the same. But now it's just everything getting pushed the same. And the game ain't fucked up because the artists are still here. The rappers, there's all kind of good people. Like we said, there's all these subgenres. They don't know how to really distribute it, I think, in a way that gives everybody even space. And like I said, what gets the most clicks is these dumb niggas that don't really give a fuck about rap. They're not even talking about their songs. They're not talking about their albums. They're just being ignorant on camera. And like they're taking up space from people who do care about rap and do care about their music. And then it's to the point now where if you do care, niggas act like you corny or you trying hard or you're pretentious because this person takes themselves seriously. I don't know. That's the thing that I think is fucked up with rap. The rappers are there. There's plenty of great musicians and producers and great albums that come out of all genres, all subgenres. Like, I don't care who it is, from Gunna to Mick Jenkins to JPEG Mafia to Tyler to, you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't even matter. Like, it could be all different types of rappers. They ain't even got to sound the same. We got to find a way to get all of this out here and really like showcase how diverse rap is, because we not doing a good job at that.
Yeah, I feel that, dude. That was nothing but bars, dog. I feel the same way, dog. That's facts. I think the big thing is like the thing, like you said, rage bait is the thing that get the clicks. I think the big thing is too the consumer. They want to not be in danger. They want to be as close as possible to the lit shit, but not actually be in the lit shit. And the same thing with No Jumper. I remember when No Jumper first came out, dog, it was about SoundCloud rappers that were like unknown and they were just starting to buzz. Like I remember finding X on there, finding Trippie Redd and all that shit. I'm like, oh, this is a dope platform. Now it's nothing but gang members and shit like that. And like you said, there's nothing wrong with that type of music. It's needed for rap, but it shouldn't be so lopsided. And I think I don't know why it's like that. I think it's that way because they know that's what's kind of cool and that's lit, and the kids are gonna pay for that. You talking about some conscious shit. Some kids ain't there yet. Right,
that too. My thing is too, even if like I ain't even mad at them having a gangster rapper on there. They not even asking him about his album though.
No,
they'll be on there like, so did you ever get arrested when you were in high school?
Exactly.
How many baby mamas do you have? Like
exactly.
they just like asking like dumb, embarrassing shit for them to incriminate themselves. That's the other part of it, bro. These niggas getting locked up off going, like literally, these niggas is the feds, bro. Like it is like, why do y'all keep going on here? Why do people keep following these accounts? Why do people keep entertaining academics? Why do people keep, like, it's just people where I'm like, I get that it's entertaining to a degree, but at some point, people got to start having some kind of like self-respect and be like, yo, why are we letting these people dictate what's hot? And it's my other thing too. The streamers, dog. It's another thing I don't understand. I understand streamers are the shit right now. Why is it that they're so involved in music and hip hop? Why does SZA have to go on Kai Cenat's stream when she's promoting her album instead of going on like a radio station about music where they ask you about your album? She on this bitch, you know what I'm saying, doing dumb shit with a kid on a stream. Like, it just doesn't even, and like, I get that it's popping, but it's just weird. And then they give commentary on this shit. Now you got Aiden Ross giving commentary on rap beef. Why are we listening to him? Why is it? And then like these big publications post it. And they got it like 500,000 retweets. People like, well, Aiden Ross said it's trash. Who is Aiden Ross? He's not a rapper. Nope. It's just weird. Like, it's just strange the way people are giving power and like opinions to these people that aren't rappers and they don't care about this genre, bro. They don't.
No.
It's weird.
No, they care more about the clicks, dog. That's why I think it is a lot of times. They devalue how big the music is, and they know that's where the eyes are going to go at, and that's how they think they're going to get the new fans. But the thing about it, those people that are in there for the trends, once the trend switches, what are you going to do? Because now you got to keep switching for the trends and shit like that, dog. And it's a weird thing. Like, SZA shouldn't have to go on there, but she feels like she has to because maybe her label isn't pushing it as much, right? But two, these publications become so big, and I think it's on the artist a lot of times, right? I think the artists, like you said, they got to have more self-respect for them and then also the art form. But a lot of times these young kids that go on these like no jumpers, they saw that the person that they looked up to went on there.
Up, right.
Exactly. They blew up on there. So they think that's the way they got to go on there. But it's like, nah, dog, just keep doing your shit, bro, because no, Adam 22 don't give a fuck about you.
No.
He just wants to get paid, dog. He don't care if you go to jail. He don't care if your family don't get paid. He don't care about none of that shit. Even then with DJ Vlad, they don't care about none of this shit, dog. So I think it's a lot of times us as artists, we got to really stick together more and be like, hey, dog, you don't got to do that dumb shit.
Right.
Because you're just shucking and jiving right now. And you look fucking wild, bro. You look fucking wild. You're dry snitching on yourself, dog.
Yeah, right.
Like the amount of rappers that are going on No Jumper and then got incriminated. And that's been like a recent thing. Like when I said earlier, like when it first came out, dog, like No Jumper wasn't doing that shit, bro. Like you can go in there, maybe pay $20 to get your song streamed or some shit like that, or get like bumped up in the algorithm so you can play your shit or whatever. And now it's just some weird shit, bro. And it's like that. It makes me so sad for rap because rap is such a dope art form, but we don't value it like it should be. Nope. And these big publications know how big it is, and that's how they play us. But I don't get it, dog. I really don't understand it. It's in a weird space. But dude, yeah, it's good commentary, bro. I agree with a lot of the shit you said, bro. It's weird, dog. It's weird. So Tony, can we look out for any new music on the way?
Yes, sir. We got I think three or four more songs out of these little Lucy singles I've been dropping.
Okay.
Then we got the album. It's called Below the Belt. I've never said that yet.
Okay. Exclusive.
It's called Below the Belt. For a few reasons. One, the album cover has a belt buckle on it. Before I came up with the title, I had an idea for the cover to look kind of like Lord Willin' by Clips, how it's almost like watercolor paint looking type shit. But it was a photo shoot that Pharrell did back in the day with the nerd belt buckle.
Oh shit!
And like the picture is just like his stomach, the belt buckle, and then like the top of his jeans. Like I don't think there's anything else in the picture. So I kind of wanted the album cover to look like that before I had the album title, and I was gonna have the title of the album on the belt buckle, but I didn't know what to call it. Or I was gonna have tattoo across like my stomach with the album title, like a fake tattoo, but I didn't even know what to call that shit yet. I met this artist on TikTok. They made the cover for me. They drew it, and we just couldn't figure out what to call that motherfucker. And it had a whole bunch of different names. The album sounds like a lot of early 2000s shit, like Southern early 2000s, very Neptunes, very Clips. But yeah, I was trying to figure out what to call it, and then I was looking at it one day and was like, well, shit, like it's the cover is like below the belt. And in the background, you can see like Northern Kentucky has got the Florence Hall Tower and the shit in it. So it's like below the Bible Belt, like, because it's, you know what I mean? It's like Kentucky and everything below that. Kentucky's the top of the Bible Belt. So between it being Southern and being that, and then also it's kind of be like, like we playing dirty, we ain't playing fair, like throwing punches below the belt.
Yeah.
So that's the next project. Like I said, it's early 2000s. It's another one of them ideas that I kind of wanted to get off from back in the day, from just the shit I grew up listening to. Like, yeah, it's like it's a concept album / passion project, I guess, because, you know, very Neptunes. I'm not even going to shy away from that. When you hear it, it's like undeniable. I think I do it in a tasteful way, though. I'm not trying to like full blown rip off of them.
Okay.
But yeah, it's dope, bro. It sounds a lot like what I fucking like. If I would have played this album for myself in elementary school, I would have been like, this the coldest shit. Like, yeah, it's pretty much just homage to like my childhood years.
Hell yeah, dude.
That's coming hopefully July or August is what I'm aiming for.
Bet, dude. Hell yeah. Is there anything you want to leave the listeners with? Any like tidbits of advice or anything they should know about you?
Oh man. Just, be on the lookout for the new music. Definitely tap in with your local artists and local creatives. There's so many photographers, models, producers, fashion designers, singers, rappers, bands, videographers. Like, it's just so many different types of artists around here. DJs, like, it's a scene. And, if you're watching this, you probably tapped in with the scene. But definitely support local art and show your friends. And, like, this shit, it's important, and it makes the city a better place. It's a lot of talent here, and there's not much of a scene or an industry for people to get that off. And I feel like Cincinnati could be an even more fun city if we would embrace the art we have here more. And it's starting to get better. We got stuff like Blink and all that, and music festivals. We got new venues we built down here. It's more artists coming into the city. But yeah, just, I just want to say support your local artists and give shit, a chance. I think a lot of times we listen to what we think's popular, and popularity got a lot to do with shit. So, it might be hard for you to be like, oh, I'm going to take time out of my day to listen to this nigga that I don't know who he is. I don't know if it's good, but take that leap of faith and listen to a new artist, bro, because there's nothing like finding new music, and it's probably a lot of that shit around you right now. So,
Hell yeah, dog. That's what's up, dog. So where can they find you on social media, and then where can they find you music-wise?
On social media, on Instagram, it's Tony.m4a. That's TONY.M4a. And then on TikTok, it's Tony.wave. Tony, period, W-A-V. On Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Amazon, all that is Tony with an exclamation point at the end of that thing. And that's pretty much how you gonna find me. You might have to scroll down a little bit. Tony might come up first. But I'm on there, man. So yeah, check me out, bro. Tap in, give me a follow, shoot me a message. I like to chat with people that listen to the music and shit. So yeah.
Hell yeah, brother. All right, y'all. This has been another episode of Illconversations. My name is Chris Taylor. We've had Tony on this podcast. Tony, good shit, bro.
Thank
Appreciate
you,
you, bro. Catch you for the next one. Peace.